Yeah, I've not seen anything on YouTube.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I'm on. Check.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, bro.
Sorry, I actually haven't seen anything on YouTube.
Check again.
I'm literally, yeah, I'm refreshing it. I've been refreshing it for a while.
Oh, wow. But it's showing me Lola Okonla is saying hi, hey here.
Huh?
Search again. Sorry, refresh again.
Yeah, I have. I'm still refreshing.
And you still can't see me.
I still can't see you.
Ah, ah,
It's not even showing that you have a live video today.
ah. I have like 10 people watching already, Seth. They are saying I can see you.
Okay, now I can see it. I just opened the new one.
I think it was because you were refreshing the old one.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Uh-huh.
now I can see it.
All right, God
Thank you
bless
very
you.
much.
Thank you so
Let me
much.
just switch.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Okay, trying to get the focus away from my tummy, which seems to have a spirit of its own. My tummy has its own life force. So I'm trying to. Whoops. My tummy has its own life force. Okay, guys, so we're getting ready to go. Please bear with me sometimes when the message is filled with so much awesomeness. How are you all doing? So we're live on 96.9 Cool FM, and this is the Sanctuary on a Sunday morning. And the message is delivered from the power of darkness. Big shout out to my brother Simply Vic. Today, this morning, we spent about 30 minutes in discussion. And Simply Vic, I get soldiers. Simply Vic analyzed a book in 15 minutes. He was just dropping bullet points. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. Just boom, 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 boom. As in talking to Simply Vic for 30 minutes, I read a whole book that I believe I read growing up. Let's start with a prayer. Heavenly King, Almighty God, we come before you to rejoice in your grace. We come before you to glorify you and to adore you. We come before you because we know we have no other God but you. We don't worship Mammon or any Roman or Egyptian deity. We worship you, O Lord, monotheon, as Christ referred to you, the one God. Heavenly King, Almighty Father, bless us with wisdom to absorb the knowledge you're feeding us. Bless us with your spirit so we can worship you in spirit and in truth. In Yahushua's mighty name I pray. Amen. To all the good people in the house, I greet you all. You see, the message today is titled Destroying the Power of Darkness. In many instances, in what we practice today as Christianity, there are really, to be honest, no miracles, no power, no gifts, no healing, nothing but the theatrical antics and delusions of men. Mark chapter 7, verse 7. Your worship is a farce because what you're teaching as commands from God are nothing but ideas of men. what is being claimed as to be the great power of God is nothing more than musical hype and psychologically induced emotionalism. It's slightly anything more than musical hype and psychologically induced emotionalism. Musical hype. Churches have opened. Down the road from my house, on Friday they had vigil. Today they're having service, you can hear the music. But my question is, I can hear the music, but where's the power? Look at someone beside you and ask them, where's the power? I can see the theatricals, the acting skills. I can see the Nollywood. You saw the woman that was resurrected with powder, wearing Ankara, like Ankara, they take berry person. I could see the theatricals, but I cannot see the truth. I see the emotionalism, but I can't see the spirit. Look at someone beside you and ask them again this morning, where is the power? Níbo lágbára yẹn wà? 5 churches on every street, and nobody saw how rugged this year would be. So rugged that they were out of business for 4 months. This year, Gurogedu, it was so rugged for religion that they were out of business. That is, those who practice religion as a business. They were out of work for 4 months. How can you tell me you have the power to speak in unknown languages when you don't even have the power? Is that how Elijah worked? There was famine in the land. And David inquired of God, and God told him that it was because of what Saul did to the Gibeonites. And David got up and addressed the issue with the Gibeonites, and everything was restored. We didn't see them in the prophecy of the famine, and we didn't see them in the solution of the famine. But we are seeing them in the musical interlude and aftermath. We can hear the gongs and the cymbals. We can see the traffic building, not to the places of work, because I was talking to someone yesterday in a place of authority, and he confided in me that they're retrenching people in many sectors, including our most important sector. I don't know who it is with me this morning that is seeing what I'm seeing. They couldn't see the looming problem. While in the problem, they couldn't see the solution. And now that things are easing off and life is returning to normal, they can't even see the problem ahead, because things are easing off and life is returning to normal, not because it should, but because we have no other option. We have no reserves, no savings. What are we going to eat if we don't work? So we have turned to 3 lepers. If we stay, we die. If we go, we die. Let's go. That's what the giant of Africa has become. Very soon, they're going to have to start opening up the airports. And that's what I fear the most. Under your wonderful Donald Trump, America has had 180,000 deaths. Let me give you the exact statistics. The exact statistics for America. Sorry, I said 180,000. It's 183,000. An extra 3,000 has been added on top. 5.97 million cases, almost 6 million cases, with 183 deaths, or 83,000 deaths. You know what my problem with America is? A lot of Nigerians go there. A lot of our rich people have their children schooling there. A lot of them will want to come back home. And they're not coming back because it's safe. As far as I'm concerned, I believe the decisions we're making are economical decisions. I personally do not believe that it's really safe yet. Those are my personal opinions. And I don't want to say I said. Italy, that was the epicenter. Italy, that was the epicenter of the pandemic at a point. Has less than 40,000 deaths in total, 35,000 deaths, and 267,000 cases. Then Spain was the epicenter at a point. Spain, you will not believe it has 29,000 deaths. All these countries that everybody was like, ha, 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 ha. France at a point too. France has 30,000 deaths. And the United Kingdom has 41,000 deaths. So America alone probably has more deaths than quite a chunk of Europe put together. So I'm worried. It looks like everything is stable in Nigeria for now. When they open those airports and we have gone back to work as scheduled, how safe is it going to be? This is a question we all need to ask ourselves. And you see, many of us, speaking about the old law that operated during the time of Moses, do not realize that every 7th year, people didn't work. They worked only for 6 years and they rested for the 7th year. Nigeria has been working since 1960 as a country. That is how many years ago? 60 years. If Israel, during the time of Moses, could work for 6 years and take a 1-year break, how can we work for 60 years and not be able to take a 1-year break? Because we were never working smart in the first place. Abacha looted the treasury, Abacha looted the treasury, Abacha looted the treasury. The treasury that Abacha did not loot, what did they do with it? Somebody else looted it. Let's be honest with ourselves. And you look around you. And you wonder what's going on. Religion is used to manipulate us. The Jews worked for 6 years and could take the 7th year as a break because they worked. They didn't spend half the time bickering. They didn't spend half the time fighting. A Nigerian man relocated to Canada 15 years ago. He's their Minister of Justice. In 15 years, a foreigner can become a Minister of Justice in a country. We are doing quota system. The governor must be from this region. He must be a man of the people. How much has it earned us as a people? You are here in Nigeria planning on how to run to Canada. Why don't you sit down here and replicate what the Canadians did? Sit down, study their economy, study their political decisions, study their educational sector, study their infrastructure. You will be 10 times better than Canada, because whether you know it or not, when Canada enters that is heavy winter and the snow starts to fall, people come out with shovels looking for their cars because their cars are covered up with snow. And I've heard stories of people going to shovel the snow off a car only for them to shovel half the snow, get close enough to the car for them to realize it wasn't their car. Then they go and start shoveling snow in another place. This can happen on a Saturday morning. If you came back from Quillox on a Friday evening, you went to a party, and then you came back in the morning after a blizzard, and you can't find your car because when you were packing it, your eye was not really clear in the first place. If you understand what I'm talking about. So if we could be like the Canadians, implement what they're implementing, put the structure they're putting in place, we will be 10 times better than Canada, because unlike Canada that has winter problem where they have to be fixing road because of the erosion of the snow, but instead we're running to Canada. And very soon as we're running there with our religions and quite a big chunk of our foolishness. I don't know who it is that I'm speaking to this morning. There are no miracles. You think Christ to be alive, or you think Paul will be alive, and COVID wants to happen, Paul will not know. Christ will not know. John the Baptist will not know. Elijah or Elisha will not know that pandemic is coming. But Bill Gates will know. Bill Gates knew, but your pastors didn't know. Meanwhile, all of them had January prophecies of how fire will burn in California like it doesn't burn there every year. Like how tornado will hit. I can do a pastor's prophecy by just checking the weather report. Or better still, last year's weather report. I'm just tweaking it a little and giving it to you. It's called the past question syndrome. You go and read the past question to study for an exam. That's what they do. They go and study the past weather question for the last 3 years and then come up with something. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lord has shown me. Will you keep quiet? Which Lord? If you see the Lord, will you not run? There are no gifts. No healings. COVID centers were available. We didn't see any of them there. Last, na doctor, through the power of God, performed the healing. Now I want to ask you a question. What is emotionalism? Emotionalism is a strong or excessive appeal to the emotions, a tendency to display or respond with undue emotion, especially morbid emotion. There's no clearer example than the Ikeja helicopter incident. Celebrity, you see, initially my take was, Okay, this accident looks a bit funny, but hey, people died. Let's keep quiet and let's wait for the results. Then all of a sudden, celebrities with 10 million followers, 1 million followers, out of the abundance of their ignorance, started saying that the pilot emptied his fuel before crashing. The pilot emptied his fuel in a Bell 206. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think civilian helicopters can empty their fuel tanks or jettison fuel, as the case may be. Even media moguls were posting this news. I'm like, somebody needs to talk right now. How can somebody you consider a veteran journalist post such blunderbush? If he had time to empty his fuel tank, he had time to land. And trust me, he cannot empty his fuel tank over baby. The disaster will have been more than what you saw. Where people are sitting down frying akara and going by their own, and somebody is burning bonfire in one corner. That's where you want to go and light. You want to go and pour kerosene from the sky. Nobody was seeing logic. It was all, oh, he's a hero, he's a hero. I'm like, guys, calm down. Let the reports come out before you start declaring heroes. Many of the people that have been declared heroes in Nigerian aviation, many of them, I don't really want to say anything because they are of blessed memory. Let's just keep quiet. You don't call somebody a hero when you've not... It's like me declaring my daughter the best in her class when I've not seen her result. You don't count your chickens before you've hatched your eggs. So we've got to be able to, and the problem is, religion benighted many of our journalists and pastors and celebrities. Many of them don't know how to do fact-finding. Many of them don't know how to search for the truth. Somebody just comes up with something emotional. Yesterday I realized that I can rule Nigeria. For the first time I realized, I said, the only thing I need to do is find out the emotion that I can tap into. There's just one sentiment of great magnitude that I can tap into, and from there I'll rule all of us. Simple. Once you can get that emotion, because we have deluded ourselves to believing that spirituality is emotionalism. You hear them saying, he is not of the, we are of the spirit, not of the letter. Go with me to the book of 2 Corinthians. For the letter killeth, but the spirit gives life. What people have as spirit is emotionalism, and it gives death. Never gives life. They say, Daddy Freeze, you're a man of the letter. I'm saying I'm not a man of the letter. You, these same emotional people, are actually the ones of the letter, but you would not read to understand. Daddy Freeze, 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 6. You go and read it from King James. Who had made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter killeth, and the Spirit gives life. Have you ever bothered to find out what letter was killing who? Have you ever bothered to read that scripture in context? I've read it so many times, but I want to read it again to lay emphasis on emotionalism that you people are confusing, deluding yourselves into believing that it is spirituality. Let us read 2 Corinthians chapter 3. From verse 3. From verse 4. We are confident of all this because our greater trust is in God through Christ. Then if you jump to 6, as verse 6, it says, He has enabled us to be ministers of His new covenant. This is a covenant not of written laws, but of the Spirit. The old written covenant ends in death, but under the new covenant, the Spirit gives life. They never read 7. 7 says, the old way with laws etched in stone led to death. Though it began with such glory that the people of Israel could not bear to look at Moses' face, for his face shone with the glory of God, even though the brightness was already fading away. Shouldn't we expect greater glory under the new way now that the Holy Spirit is giving life? So they weren't talking about scriptures, the letter of the scriptures, and the spirit of emotionalism giving life, and the letter of the scriptures killing. We have pastors who are confused and deluded. We have celebrities of great how do they say it? Great influence on the people who cannot decipher right from wrong, making claims that cannot be backed up in reality. And I said today, I was going to come and deliver you from the power of darkness. When you hear deliver from the power of darkness, you believe in your auntie, that your auntie in the village is doing you. Delivered from the power of witchcraft. Delivered from the power of demonic forces. That's not what I'm here to do today. I'm here to deliver you from the power of the darkness of ignorance. The darkness of ignorance is worse than witchcraft. It is a form of sorcery, a form of witchery that destroys the essence of your being. And I'm here to deliver you from that darkness. And you can only be delivered by knowledge. There's no medicine you will drink that can save you from ignorance. There's no fasting you will fast that can save you from ignorance. Bathing with a bucket of gari can never cure hunger. You want to cure hunger? Instead of bathing with a bucket of gari, eat 3 spoons of it. You're better off. The cure to the witchery of ignorance is knowledge. Christianity is like a social science. There are rules that you must follow. And don't listen to those ones telling you the rules are bring your money and come and give your broke God. If God, the scriptures are so clear in the book of Acts chapter 17 and in the book of Acts chapter 7. God does not live in buildings or temples built by human hands. And he has no needs. Human hands cannot tend to him. So if the scripture says human hands cannot tend to him, why are you going to give him money? Did he ask you for money? Did he tell you he needed your money? You come and you claim this God is so big, yet you must bribe him monthly like an area boy with 10% of your salary before he can bless you. And then Jeff Bezos is worth 200 billion, never paid tithe in his life. Bill Gates is worth over 100 billion. The tithe of Jeff Bezos' money is more than all the churches in Nigeria put together with their pastors. One of them is saying is an apostle of prosperity. The world has its apostles of prosperity. They're called Gates. They're called Zuckerberg. They're called Bezos. Thank you, geniuses. Those are apostles of prosperity. You want to learn how to make money? Ask Dangote. Ask Adenuga. Ask Buffett. My beautiful daughter. Nigeria has an apostle of prosperity. His name is Aliko Dangote. Nigeria has another apostle of prosperity. His name is Mike Otumba Mike Adenuga. Those are apostles of prosperity. Your apostleship should end in that book that you don't know, teaching the spirit that you don't have. You are going up and down claiming you're an apostle of prosperity. Keep quiet. Shouting every day that they locked your church because of coronavirus. Fighting the government day and night. Bible you don't know, spirit you don't have. The apostle call. Disciple me. Nigeria has an apostle, and we have 102 million people in extreme poverty. Okay, let's listen to his apostleship. What is he telling us to do? To pay tithe. What is that? What is the discussion that he's having that will have bailed us out from this poverty? Is he not pay tithe and come and give them offering? I declare Aliko Dangote, Nigeria's apostle of prosperity today. And I'm not doing it from any spirit. I'm doing it with using the great scripture called Forbes. According to the scriptures of Forbes, Otumba Mike Adenuga is an apostle of prosperity. Because they didn't have to collect offering to ease their suffering. They didn't have to collect tithe so their aircrafts could be in flight. And yes, Aliko Dangote too has nice aircraft. And they are in flight without tithe. This year, Jeff Bezos made several times more in personal income than Nigeria as a country. Your pastors should go and take lessons from him. When Jeff Bezos preaches about prosperities, your pastors should shut up and write notes. This year, Jeff Bezos crossed the $200 billion mark after giving his wife a chunk of his billions. His wife is number 13. He is number 1. Imagine he and his wife had not shared the money. That's when they say you're strong. They cut you, you still be number 1. It's just like when Blake and Usain Bolt, and I've forgotten the other guy that year. I was watching the races. Jamaica came first, second, and third. Meaning that if Usain Bolt did not show up for the race, Jamaica would have still come first. Jamaica would have still won gold if Usain Bolt and if Johan Blake, if 2 of the 3 did not come, they would still, their gold was so sure because the first Jamaican, second Jamaican, third Jamaican. So if any of the three, you know that kind of thing, say, Blake will just look, you Bolt say, oh boy, I come out yesterday, I tired. Go win the race. No worry, go bring the gold, come. It was too sure. How can three people from a country come first, second, and third? Gold, silver, and bronze. If the gold and silver did not show up, the bronze would have collected the gold because it was faster than anybody else. That's the power of Jeff Bezos' financial might for now. And you see him in his torn jeans. Wallahi, I dress past Bezos. He wear his shoe, then his shoe be like something where if I see for Primark, I go waka pass him. Meanwhile, he is an apostle of prosperity. He is a disciple of prosperity. He is a prosperous person. As a matter of fact, he is prosperity personified. He doesn't look it. He doesn't talk it. He's just it. A beautiful woman is a beautiful woman. The one wey no find a mirror and makeup go kill am. The one wey fine early morning when she wake up, no need for makeup, no need for mirror, no need to even comb her hair. Once you see her in morning, cross the eyes, she will be fine. That's Jeff Bezos and prosperity. Some will only be fine when they rub powder and put other people's hair. Some, whether they rub powder, put other people's hair, wear Gucci, they will still not be fine. That's your pastors. The world is crucifying Bill Gates. The people that are killing you have not crucified them. You are going to their shrines every Sunday to go and give them more money. Bill Gates eradicated wild polio from the entire Africa. Wow. Your pastors cannot even pray for malaria to be healed. Bill Gates eradicated, I'm saying this again, wild polio from all of Africa. All of it. One pastor was telling me the other day that WHO is a scam. I said, will you shut up? I said, will you keep quiet? WHO is a scam. What are you? WHO eradicated smallpox. They are the ones with this polio. Okay, they've done one or two things that are not right. You have done nothing right. What has religion done for Africa? Except remove the chains from our hands and feet and tie them around our brains. It almost ended in a fisticuff. Because, Mufiorona, I use word to beat him. How can you tell me that WHO is a scam? That Bible you hold to preach, do you even know it? You are standing on a pulpit, you don't know the Bible, you don't know the scriptures, you don't know the history of religion, you don't know Christianity, and you are preaching to people, they gave you license to preach, and you are calling WHO scam. WHO is an angel with a halo compared to you. Satan is an angel compared to many of them. Oh, I've got a harsh message this morning. I've got a really harsh message this morning. And I need you all to work with me. Let me just catch my breath. Today's topic is destroying the power of darkness. Like I said earlier, there are no miracles, no power, no gifts, no healing. Nothing but theatrical antics and delusions of men. Clearly seen in this pandemic. Pandemic just opened everybody to the world. Many believers fail to accept that the New Testament tongue speaking is not blanderbash, but is an understandable language. How do you ignore Acts chapter 2 and the clarity of it when everybody there heard their languages? Acts chapter 2 verse 4. They were able to begin to speak in other languages as the Spirit gave them utterance. There's nothing in Acts chapter 2 that will indicate that they spoke an unintelligible, unintelligent language or a gibberish. The word tongues implies a language. The word utterance, to enunciate plainly, that is to declare, to say, to speak forth. Let me speak forth to you this morning. What is that? That's the spirit of emotionalism. The tongues you are taught to speak. Some churches have school of tongues. Instead of them to have school of open eyes so you can see pandemic coming, the one that Bill Gates, y'all should call Bill Gates up and say, Bill, how did you know that there's a possibility of a pandemic? Obama, how did you know that there was a possibility for a pandemic? And Bill Gates will tell you that he has been studying infectious diseases and funding infectious diseases. And as a computer data analyst, he has one of the most accurate algorithms for communicative diseases that even economists use. Matthew chapter 7 verse 24. Anyone who listens to my teachings and follows this is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. You don't build a house on the rock or on solid rock by attending a church in Lekki or by practicing a religion. You do so by obeying Yahweh through his son Yahusha. Matthew chapter 13 verse 12. For those who are listening to my teachings, even more understanding would be given, and they would have an abundance of knowledge. But for those of you who are not listening, even what little understanding you may have will be taken away from you. The little you have when he answered your call as Jesus. You prayed to him one day. You were in a bad state or shape. Your spirit was down, or maybe it was your emotions or finances. Maybe your career was in the wrong place. Maybe your marriage was troubled, and you called on Jesus, and he answered you. And then he told you, my name is Yeshua HaMashiach, or Yahusha. But you say, no, it's okay. I'm okay with Jesus. That's where your journey with him ends. And Satan very quickly takes over. I say, no, don't worry. You can use it. Oh, yeah, I'm here for you. Remember, if you worship me, I'll give you the kingdoms of the world. And how enticing it is for a human being to have access to rulership of all the kingdoms of the world. Did you watch Game of Thrones? What was Game of Thrones about? The seven, who will sit on the iron throne of the seven kingdoms? Only seven kingdoms. All of them die. Khaleesi die. Jon Snow die, resurrect. Cersei die. The dragon die. Who else? Eh? Jamie Lannister died. Who else? Who? Ty. All of them, including Ice King. All of them die on top 7 thrones. Now you can imagine when Satan says he's going to give you all the kingdom, not 7 of the kingdoms. As in, people kill themselves on top 7 kingdoms, so they do movie about them. We watched, how many series was it? How many series? No, how many? Yes. 8 seasons. If they show Game of Thrones for 2 a.m., as the bad parent that I am, I go wake children. Say, hey, when I get school tomorrow, Game of Thrones don't start. As bad children that they are, beam, now so they jump around. There was a time we could not get Game of Thrones. We only get it on the phone. All of us go gather like family around phone, they watch. We don't watch Game of Thrones for iPad. We don't watch Game of... And what is it all about? Only 7 kingdoms. Look at someone beside you and say, only 7 kingdoms. Now imagine the devil says, I will give you the kingdoms of the earth. All the 7, plus remaining the other 70 million. All the kingdoms. I will give you all. Only you. Bow and worship me. Una knee go dig well inside that ground. Nobody say your knee go touch ground. Some people, where they are bowing and kneeling to worship the devil, if you remove them, it don't turn borehole inside the ground, nearly reaching the crust of the earth. The force with which their knees hit the ground in worship to the devil. James chapter 1 verse 22. But don't just listen to God's words. You must do what the words say, otherwise you're only fooling yourselves. And I ask you here, do you even know God's word first? Is it not what you know you will listen to, and what you listen to you obey? Those that are teaching you, do they even know what it says? I'm an apostle of prosperity. Do they know what it says? They will come now and be telling you about Elijah. They will come now and be telling you about David. Like David was a Christian. Like Elijah was a Christian. Not knowing that Christianity did not begin until the beautiful, wonderful Marys, the 2 Marys, went to meet Christ on a Sunday morning. He had become the Christ, the Messiah, the Hamashiach. And he first revealed himself to 2 women. Look at someone beside you and tell them, don't take the women in your life for granted. He met the women, gave them a message for the men, and told the women where he was going to go to. So the women knew where he was going to, and they were the ones that were going to give the message to the men who will now eventually go there. And you are telling a woman to shut up in church. You are not listening to Christ. It's Paul you are listening to. And in as much as I love Paul, many of his concessions are in grave error. Paul said a woman should keep quiet. Imagine Mary Magdalene listening to Paul. She'll just go where the brothers are gathering. Mary, what happened? Uncle Paul said, make her quiet. I know if he talk. What happened? Women are meant to be quiet in the church. They must not speak. They must be in obedience. They must listen only to their men. That is why I tell you, in the free nation, we follow Christ. I am a Christian, not a Paulian, not a Mosesian or a Davidian. I am a Christian, and when I see clear conflict in what Paul, as a human being, is teaching, in comparison to what Christ, who is half spirit, half human, I will not follow Paul because it suits me to keep my women quiet. I will follow the Messiah who in John chapter 4 chose a sinful woman as his disciple. Someone said Christ did not have any female disciples. Oh, yes, he did. The Samaritan woman at the well was what? His PA. He used her to win a whole nation, a whole city. And because of her and her testament, he ended up spending 2 extra days in the Samaritan town. Left to Paul, that Samaritan woman there, for fetch her water, go house, miss salvation. I'm not in any way saying Paul was not a messenger of Christ. I am just showing you that scriptures are there for us to correct. Correct is part of the things we need to do. And sometimes the correction is from the elders who, as humans, made errors. No man was closer to God than Moses. Yet he did not see the promised land because of error. Who is Paul? Or even Peter not to make errors? So when Peter says something, I have to verify it in Christ. Because according to Galatians chapter 2, there was a point where Peter was being hypocritical and Paul attacked him. And the same Paul went on to engage in that same hypocrisy later on. So as Christians, the message of truth is obedience to Christ. And there's something that gives me a lot of issues with Paul, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Go with me to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9. And I'm reading verse 20. And tell me if this is not hypocrisy. The same hypocrisy Paul accused Peter of. When I was with the Jews, when I was with those who follow the Jewish law, I too lived under that law. Even though I'm not subject to the law, I did so I could bring to Christ those who are under the law. Verse 21. When I'm with the Gentiles who do not follow the Jewish law, I too live apart from the law. I can bring them to Christ, but I do not ignore the law of God. I obey the law of Christ. How can you be under the law in one place and be apart from the law in another place, and you say you are winning people to Christ? It's like being with Boko Haram, which is a totally different constitution from Nigeria, and then coming to Nigeria and being... It's impossible. You can't. As a human being, you cannot without being hypocritical. Because, you see, the law is not like chicken or a duck. And you say the two of them are fed, the two of them are birds, and you carry chicken or pigeon, chicken or turkey. You understand? It's like chicken or elephant. There's no similarity. The law is actually the opposite of the way. The law says do, the way says done. Matthew chapter 5, I am not here to abolish, I am here to fulfill, and I have fulfilled on the cross. Colossians chapter 2. Galatians chapter 3, Galatians chapter 5, you are under the law, you are under a curse. Galatians 5 verse 4, when you subject yourself to the law without obeying it in all its totality, which is impossible for you to obey, you have cut yourself away from Christ and fallen from the grace of God. So putting yourself under the law automatically removes you from the grace of God. And putting yourself under the grace of God automatically cuts you off as a sinner under the law, because you are now found guilty of disobeying the law. That is why Paul had to say, if we are found disobeying the law, would it mean that Christ has let us into sin? Absolutely not. Sin is now when you rebuild the old system of law that you already tore down. Galatians chapter 2. So how can you come and say you were under the law at a point just to win people to Christ? So what do you think those people, what version of Christianity do you think they'll believe? They'll believe the version where you can be under the law. Then you go to the Gentiles and you are now no longer under the law to win them to Christ. The day the Jews and Gentiles meet, that's when problem will start. Because these ones will come and say, Paul taught us that we can do this. The other ones will come and say, no, Paul said we cannot do that. It will bring confusion. Christ did not preach a message separate for the Gentiles and a message separate for the Jews. He preached one message. Human beings, with us believing that we can win more, forgetting that the way, Christ has already told us that the way is narrow. John chapter 4, unless the Lord gives you to me, I cannot win you. Even Christ cannot win you unless the Lord has given you to him. So how did we get here? Very simple. Following those who have little understanding and missing the essence of the light. John chapter 8 verse 12. Once again Yahushua spoke to the people and said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but I have the right to life. But will have the right to life. I want to read this in Greek, the original language. Palenuantua elasen ho Yesu legon ego emito phos to cosmo. Phos is light, to of the cosmo, world. Ho akolonthon emoatome peripisti entis kota hekese to phos. But will have light, shall not walk in darkness, but will have light. Me peripatesi enter scotia all hexi to phos. So how are you going to be delivered from the power of darkness? Because that is the summation of the entire message for this morning. How are you going to be delivered from the power of darkness? Let me read it to you in English again. I am the light of the world. John chapter 8 verse 12. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness, because you will have the light that leads you to life. Christ is the way. You don't worship the way. You follow the path. You follow his footsteps. You follow the light. I'll take you to the Old Testament real quick. Go with me to the book of Exodus chapter 13, verse 21. The Lord went ahead of them and guided them during the day with a pillar of cloud, and he provided light at night with a pillar of fire that allowed them to travel by day or by night. And the Lord did not remove the pillar of cloud or pillar of fire from his place in front of the people. Do you know why? Imagine wandering in the wilderness at night and then the pillar of fire goes out. What happens? You get lost. You see, the pillar of cloud leads during the day, but that's not the problem here. We're not delivering you from the power of daylight. What are we delivering you from? The power of darkness. And for you to be delivered from the power of darkness, you don't need no deliverance. You need to follow the light. Look at someone beside you this morning and tell them, follow the light. You don't need to pay tithe or sow seeds or give first fruit. You don't need to pray 5 times a day or all day and all night. You don't need to do night vigil or any of those things. The only thing you need to do is follow the light, and you will be delivered from the power of darkness. There was a book about someone who wrote about how he was delivered, he went to hell and came back, all sorts of blunderbush. Many people believe that book because they believed, or they believe, or nurse the belief that the darkness is a form of witchcraft. The darkness is not witchcraft. It never was and it never would be. The darkness is ignorance. I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness. Many of you are walking in darkness today because you have refused to follow Christ. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18. The path of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn, shining brighter and brighter until midday. And if you go with me to the famous Lucifer prophecy, 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. How do you even know what is darkness and what is light when you call Satan and Lucifer? Read Bible, you not read. Study, you not study. Follow Christ, you not follow. You are calling the devil the bearer of light. Which light did he bring? Someone that is camouflaging. When Christ said, I am the light. And he came back in Revelation chapter 22 verse 16 and said, I am the bright morning star. And Peter declared him to be the phosphorus. In the Latin Vulgate, the word Lucifer was clearly used. Go and cross-check the Latin Vulgate, 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. Because of that experience, we have even greater confidence in the message proclaimed by the prophets. You must pay close attention to what they wrote, for their words are like a lamp shining in a dark place until the day dawns, and Christ the morning star. The Latin word for morning star was Lucifer. The Greek word was phosphorus. So you can say Christ the phosphorus or Christ the Lucifer shines in your hearts. Verify this. Don't take my word for it, please verify it. Until the day dawns and Christ the morning star, the Lucifer, shines in your heart. And Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18 echoes this. It says, the path of the righteous. How are you righteous as a Christian? How do you become righteous as a Christian? By following Christ. Human effort achieves nothing. The Spirit gives everything. And until you're ready to worship God in spirit and in truth, like John chapter 4 instructs us, you can never be righteous. The path of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn. Go back again to 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. You must pay attention to what the prophets wrote, for their words are like a lamp in a dark place. The words of the prophets was deliverance from the power of darkness. The lamp. What delivers you from darkness? Light. God bless you. The only thing that can deliver you from darkness is light. Not prayer, light. Pay close attention to the words of the prophet. Their words were the lamp in a dark place. Until the day now dawns, and the light bringer, the phosphorus, the Lucifer, shines in your heart. The words of Proverbs are very clear. The path of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn, shining brighter and brighter until midday. The lamp of the prophets was a dim preview of the good things to come, but it delivered them from darkness in the time of old. And as Peter said, until the day dawns and the morning star rises. And as he rises, he begins to shine brighter and brighter until midday, when the light of the Lord has fully delivered you from the power of darkness. John chapter 9 verse 5. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. John chapter 12 verse 36. While you have the light, believe in the light, so that you may become sons of the light. And they say Satan is Lucifer. See how many times Christ used the word light in one verse. While you have the light, believe in the light, so you may become the sons of light. After Yahushua spoke these things, he went away and was hidden from them. So I'm here to deliver you 2,000 years later from the power of darkness. And I'm here to say these exact words. John chapter 12 verse 36. While you have the light, believe in the light, so that you may become the light, sons of the light. Look at someone beside you this morning and pass this message to them. While you have the light, say it. Believe in the light, so you may become sons of the light. Philippians chapter 2 verse 15. So that you may be blameless and poor and pure, so that you may be blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a crooked and perverse generation, in which you shine as lights in the world. You cannot shine as lights if you don't believe in the light. When you have the light, so you may become the sons of the light. Only when you become the sons of the light can you shine as lights. Revelation chapter 1 verse 20. This is the mystery of the 7 stars that you saw at my right hand, and 7 gold lampstands. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. For you to be delivered, or for you to deliver from light, from darkness, you have to have light. Heavenly Lord, I hand over your children to you this morning. I ask for your light upon our lives. I ask for the pillar of fire in the darkness to lead us. I ask for the mercy and the grace, the wisdom to know the light, believe in the light while we have the light, so that we may become the sons of light. And I ask for this light upon this country. I ask for the light upon this state. I ask for the light upon your people. I ask for the light upon us all. In Yahushua's name I pray. Go today. Go forth while you have the light. Go forth while you believe in the light. Go forth as you become the light. The city on the hilltop that cannot be hidden is you. You are the light. O Son of Light. Go forth, Son of Light. Look at someone beside you this morning and tell them, go forth into the world of darkness, powered by the light. You are the illumination of the world. If they say you are the light of the world, what are you? The illumination of the world. Go forth, make the world brighter, O sons of light. Yes, sons of light, how are you this morning? How are you this morning, children of light? Someone is telling me pastors are his problem, not politicians. Obi Emmanuel, Obi, can you please go? What are you doing here? Let me block you. I don't like blocking people, but some people you have nothing to do to help them. Let me just block you. So you are we're trying to liberate you. We had 145 people on Facebook, on my Facebook page. Another 15 people on my Facebook. So on Facebook alone, we had 150 people. On Instagram, we had about 120 people. That is already about 270. And right now on YouTube, we have 245 people. So easily we had a congregation of 500, plus the several thousand that are going to come and watch the sermon in the later part of today. Live, we had 500 people watching. And if your only contribution is to come and tell me to talk about politicians, which I did, but of course you are not listening. I did. Watch the beginning of the service. Posh Mama is saying plus radio audience. And you watch this message free of charge. The only thing you're spending is your data. And then all you are coming here to do is to tell me to leave pastors and face politicians. Is your own hand paining you? Daddy Freeze has chosen to chase rats. Why don't you chase pigeon? Why must you be sitting down in the comfort of your home and say, Daddy Freeze, you are chasing rats? Why are you not chasing pigeon? Daddy Freeze has chosen a hustle. He has chosen a path. Hustle your own. Go and face the politicians. And let me tell you, chasing politicians is more rewarding than what I'm doing. If you chase politicians, you will make money because they will call you aside. When you become a thorn in their flesh, they will call you aside. Either you join them and start making money with them, or they pay you to keep quiet. With the platform I have, I can very well chase some political clout. But did God send me to chase political clout, or he sent me to pass a message? Ask yourself that. Before we close today, Taste Buds has an announcement. I want to check up on her if she's ready. If not, I'll just do it myself. So hang on, guys, for a minute. Okay. She said she will join us in 2 minutes. So please. Let me just block some people on Facebook. Someone said, I need the video of this message. It's available on youtube.com/Daddy Freeze Teaches. Check it out. Many people are missing the beauty of the message. Many people are missing the enlightenment because they want me to talk about politicians. Reno or Mockery that's talking about politicians. Have you answered him? You think only Reno can fight who's fight? Showore, you have them. I will not concern myself with what God did not arm me for. I cannot go to a battle of guns carrying a comb. The little political messages that are revealed to me in how this country will be better, I will say it. I am not ready to fight your battle for you. You that will not come out to vote, you want me to come and be calling politicians. So they will lock me up. The next person will come, they will lock that person up needlessly. Me, I have no problem with Nigerian politics. So I have a problem with Nigerian people. I don't have a problem with Nigerian pastors. If you people were not buying their market, they will not have customers. I have a problem with you. And until you're ready to change, any fight against politicians is useless. You are voting for Big Brother, your country is in ruins, and you want me to go and fight for you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my wonderful and gorgeous Taste Buds. She has an announcement about a member of our church that might be needing our help. We've come through for her several times, but she has the full story. So ladies and gentlemen,
hello.
You're also here and here and here.
Okay. Happy Sunday. It's been a while. Now, I don't want to take too much of your time. but there is a lady in our midst, like she's a member. Her name is Blessing. She has been a member with us for a while, and she's going through a rough patch. And I would like if we as a church can come together to help her. We have helped her a couple of times before now. She was pregnant with a baby sometime 7 months ago, and she couldn't pay her hospital bills, but I and the DeFreeze were able to come through for her. She had the baby successfully. She went home. 3 months later, she discovered she had diabetes, and it had gone on a very high scale. So she had to go back to the hospital because she had wounds resulting from the cesarean section she had that wasn't healing as a result of her diabetes. So we had to hospitalize her, pay for her hospital bills, and she got discharged 2 months ago. Now, we cannot keep sustaining her. We cannot keep feeding her bread and fishes. We need to empower her so she can fend for herself. Remember, she's a diabetic patient and she's on medication. Right now, things are really bad. She's a nursing mom, she has a baby, she's nursing, she can't eat properly, she can't take her medications, she can't support her husband because the husband is also out of work. It's a very difficult time that we're all in because of the pandemic. A lot of people are losing their jobs, but to those of us that still have a source of income and can accommodate helping 1 or 2 people, please, if you are in a position where you can help someone, Blessing is our church member. She's one of us. We would really appreciate it if you can reach out and help her. She wants to start a small business selling of drinks and snacks in a kiosk. So she has inquired on how to pay for the rent. She's gotten a very small place in a market square where she can start selling these items. So the rent fee, the money she needs to pay for the ballets, the money she needs to buy the drinks, and the money she needs to start making those snacks. Everything, according to her, is going to come to about 250 to 280,000 naira. That is what she needs. We need to help Blessing to find her feet on the ground financially. She needs to be able to start fending for herself and contributing her own quota to her family. So if there is anyone here that would like to help Blessing, you can send a message to our admin line. The Free Nation Online Church, we have an administrative line, which I'm going to be calling out. So you can send a WhatsApp message to that number if you want to help Blessing out, so that I can furnish you with further details of who Blessing is and how she intends to utilize these funds that hopefully we should be able to raise for her. So her name is Blessing. She's our member. She's a diabetic patient and a new mom. She's trying to start up a small business enterprise. So if you're interested in helping Blessing out, please send us a WhatsApp message on this number, 080-518-3651. The number is 080-518-33651. That is the Free Nation Online Church. That's the Free Nation Online Church administrative line. So please, if you are blessed and you know you can help someone else, Blessing is in need of financial assistance from us. So send us a message on this number and we will furnish you with further details on how to assist Blessing. Thank you very much and do have a wonderful day. But what has she been doing before now? She has no job. She is a caterer by profession. So now that her husband is out of work, she would like to start baking and selling those snacks. She wants to start small. I always encourage people to start small. So that is what she wants to do now. Get a small space in a market and then start selling snacks and drinks. That way she can buy her medication and support her family. The number is 080 518 3365 1. 080 51 83 36 51. Now, that is the administrative line for the FNC Church. So you can also send an email to charity@freenationchurch.com. Thank you so much. So have a lovely Sunday, everyone. And God bless you and replenish your income for those of you that would like to support Blessing.
Okay, and for those of you who want to send her anything, let me give you the Free Nation Church account. Just write blessing. Before people think that you are writing it to be blessed.
Her name is Blessing.
What's her surname?
Blessing
yeah, because I don't want to label the, just say Enwerechi is also might not be so easy for them to get. Just type blessing. Just type blessing. Or blessing assistance, as the case may be. Blessing SME. The account number is Zenith Bank. Free the Sheeple Ministry. Zenith Bank. 101 642 6338. Zenith Bank. 101 642 6338. This is for the lady Blessing. We're trying to turn her into a fisher so we don't have to give her fish all the time. We paid her hospital bills. When she delivered her child, we paid without even raising money. We just tried to sort it out. But right now, she needs about 250K, and it would be good if the church can come through and help one of us. The more people that we have that have been sorted out, the less likely it is for us to have people starving or being unemployed. Okay, someone said I don't have a pen to write it down, so can you please type it for us on all the platforms? Free the Sheeple Ministry, Zenith Bank, 101 642 6338. And for those who send Daddy Free's gifts, which happens only once in a while, please don't send to this account. I never take anything out of church account, so they will not say Daddy Freeze is eating church money. 1K out of the church account is church money, so I don't want to ever. If you, okay, Free Nation account, yes, it's Free the Sheeple Ministry, Zenith Bank, 101 642 6338. Someone said I'm an evil man talking nonsense. So what are you doing listening to an evil man? Will you please go? Let me just help you by giving you a quick block. Okay? Okay, fantastic. Indeed, thank you so much. Zenith Bank, 101 642 6338. So guys, I'm going to hold this for about 2 minutes. For those of you that want to write it down, it's there posted on the chat. Thank you so much, Zingu. Blessing Assistance, Zenith Bank, 101 642 6338, Free the Sheeple Ministry. Thank you so much. So you can see it on YouTube. You can see it also on my Facebook page. I have only one Facebook page. That is Daddy Freeze Teaches. It's the same as my YouTube, youtube.com/Daddy Freeze Teaches, and Facebook, Daddy Freeze Teaches. On Instagram, it's Daddy Freeze. Okay? So, okay, NDD, pin the comment so you can see that. For those of you who are still, I don't know if I can pin a comment on Facebook. Ooh, I can't pin a comment on Facebook, unfortunately. But anyway, the comment is there. So guys, take it there. Okay, take it there. Zingu, Guku, Njuku. I hope I got that. I'm so sorry. I hope I got that. Just typed it there. Okay, have you seen it there? Okay. Please, on Instagram. Okay, nobody has typed it out on Instagram. 30 GB Norse, my sister. Always watches, hardly ever comments. But will now send me a DM at the end. Today's message was powerful. God bless you, my sister. How are you doing? Thank you so much. Okay, so I think I can close the service. Anything, any question? I'll take one question each from all. Kupe Naija, my brother, how are you doing? God bless you. Okay, we'll just do a screenshot and write it later. Absolutely wonderful. Any question? One question from Facebook. One question from Facebook, real quick. Olarotimi Olujimi, I've gotten liberated through your teachings before I left Nigeria. May God bless you, and may the liberation and the enlightenment continue for us all. Okay, any question on YouTube? Any question? Simply Vic, God bless you. Thank you for this morning. Thank you for coming through as always. That was a good session. And also a big shout out to my brother Jigger Collins. Jigger Collins was with me last night live discussing the air crash incident from Jigger Collins is a helicopter pilot and a fixed wing pilot, as well as a fixed wing instructor. He's somebody who teaches people how to fly aeroplane in aviation school. So his input was tremendously valuable. So a big shout out to him. Okay, a big shout out to him. He was with me yesterday, and he really helped us throw light. He really helped us throw light on the situation. So big shout out to him. What do I think about karma? I did a whole video on it. You can see it on youtube.com/DaddyFreezeTeaches. A whole video on it. My stance is, I will not allow karma to dictate doctrine or the spirituality of the church. But if they want to look inside the account, they are welcome. If they want to put somebody from any part of the country to check out how, like this Free Nation account that we are using to check blessing. Maybe when they come there, they will say, why did you raise 250,000? We say it's for blessing. Who is blessing? They will phone blessing. Blessing will give them her address. They will go and visit blessing. When they get to the place, say, blessing, where is the shop? This was where the shop used to be, but area boys have taken it. Or this was where the shop used to be, it has now turned to Petesi upstairs. The business has grown. Why am I afraid? In fact, I want karma to start with Free Nation. Abi baby, let karma start with us. I am begging karma. In fact, I'm kneeling down. Karma, please come and start with Free Nation. Let us even set the example. It's just that we don't have, they will just, but shall come. Let me not even discourage you. Come. Dear karma, we want you to start with the Free Nation. That's why I have a day job and I'm very busy. And I have a platform with which I use to address social issues. And I work very hard. And I still do my celebrity interviews and all the things I need to do to make sure I have food on my table. But anything church, I'm very careful with it. So I think that's the only question. Okay, someone's already sent a token. God bless you, Joyce. I see you too. The person who sent a token was forever humble. God bless you. That's how somebody said he sent a token. You just see 100K. You say, ah. Then somebody say, I sent you so much money. You now see 8K. Some people's token, they fear me. I always say, I send you a token of 600K. Ah. Next time, tell us about the Sabbath day. It's really not an issue because the Lord is the Lord of the Sabbath. The Sabbath was never Sunday. Sunday is a pagan day set aside for Roman pagan worship. The Sabbath was always Saturday. Always has been Saturday. So, all right, guys. God bless you.